That's what it looks like. Now, fully on the ground, Gary.
It's just south of the Oklahoma City area, a huge debris ball. That's houses and trees.
We are having power flashes, so there's a tremendous amount of wind.
It's crossing west. Violent, deadly tornado cover if you're in the path of this thing.
Moore is the only place on the earth that's had ever had two F5 or F6 tornadoes strike, ever. The 1999 tornado, that day there were 74 tornadoes across Oklahoma. 74.
Oh, the tornadoes come. We know why they're here because in Oklahoma, plentifully, the wind's coming from the south, sort of the moisture supply, because the moisture supplies the energy for these storms. Not all tornadoes are made alike. The F4s and the F5s are the most violent and most dangerous.
This occurred on a Monday, as I remember, May 20th, and we of course had several days of warning from the local meteorologists and others, and having gone through the 1999 tornado and the devastation that hit Moore, we knew this was nothing to really take lightly.
Tornado, like Val said, this is May 3rd, 1999, all over again. It's almost going down the same streets that it did before.
So my name is Caleb White. I'm from Moore, Oklahoma, but yeah, lived there the entire time. So they had told us that, possible some bad weather, which they tell us that it's May. They tell us that it could happen any day at this point. But me and I had two sisters, we all got up, got ready for school, nothing happened. We knew a possibility, but we're looking outside, the clouds are coming in. It still feels nice outside. We're like, it's not even that bad yet. I feel like we'll be fine.
My name is Holly Hall. I grew up, actually born and raised in Oklahoma City, Edmond area, and got married and lived in Texas. And 2 years after that, we moved to Oklahoma City and lived there for 17 years until we moved here to Tulsa. I remember they had been saying for a while that there was going to be a severe weather day. And then I woke up that morning and it was blue sky, and I thought, really?
So then we all, again, just got ready for school. They're like, oh yeah, we're watching the news, whatever. We had people that were watching the news. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. And then sirens hit. That's when we all, sirens are coming. We all got excited. We're used to this. We weren't ready for what was about to happen that night.
The storm clouds gathered that afternoon. I was in the front porch of my daughter's home that's not far from Plaza Towers grade school, where 7 precious kids lost their lives. And it was more than awesome to see that funnel passing very closely, 11 blocks away, hearing the roar, the exploding cars, things and debris in the air. The funnel itself was a greenish brown from all the trees and grass and everything that had been sucked up into it. And it was a multi-vortex tornado, which means it wasn't just like 1.5 miles wide, but it had several smaller tornadoes inside it, like an egg beater, and it was just slowly grinding along. And as we saw the direction it was headed, we knew it was headed toward that and another grade school not far from there. But little did I realize that night, after all the emergency crews were out working and the television stations, of course, were broadcasting everything, that I would be involved in that very intimately the next day.
So we all, yep, and then the lights shut out. Ironically, the lights came back on at one point and then immediately clicked back off. It was still not even, this was before 3 o'clock this happened. This is probably like 1 or 2.
Around 4 o'clock or so was when they started, the weathermen were on consistently, and that's when I started really getting concerned.
So then we kind of get back, like, okay, we're gonna take precautions. Everybody got those, we had huge blue textbooks. I said, you know what to do, so we all did it. We all had to line out in the middle of the hall because where that hallway was just so happened to be like the centermost point of the school.
At one point, I remember they were talking about it was literally heading straight for us, but it was so slow moving that it wasn't like immediate, but we knew we needed to make a plan. And what they kept saying, the weathermen on TV, if you don't get underground, you will not make this. But I had never heard that, and that kind of put a whole different spin on it.
But you may take your tornado precautions, and that means you need to be below ground if at all possible. If you can't do that, you stay in the center part of your house, closet or bathroom, helmet, goggles.
So then there's cars coming constantly, parents trying to pick up their kids. They would walk out, they'd write a bunch of names down on a notepad, and they'd just start screaming it. They said, if this is you, come here. Me and my younger sister, she was a grade below me, so she's in 2nd grade, I'm in 3rd. So we finally get to go home. We finally walk in, and we're just waiting. We all played sports growing up, so my younger sister got her baseball helmet, my older sister got her softball helmet, I've got my football helmet on because I had the mask. And we're all just waiting. Now, luckily, we weren't hit. Now, our fences were gone, and it's just loud noise. And sirens going constantly. Sparks are going out from the lights and the telephone towers. And that was that night.
There is complete destruction, tears in people's eyes as they see this scene. It is absolutely an amazing scene. And a Moore police officer just told me just a short time ago there is an elementary school that was hit. I asked if there were kids inside that elementary school. He said yes. So right now what you're seeing, parents in this area, tears coming down their faces, going into this area, not sure what the heck they are going to see when they get into this neighborhood.
Our daughter and son-in-law went to First Baptist Church, to the location of the campus there, to ask and inquire about what they could do to help, gathering clothes, food, whatever for the victims. And they bumped into the coroner and said, we're gathering the 7 families here to give them news about the children. They were holding out hope that they would have been found in one of the emergency rooms around town, and had heard nothing. And any rate, our daughter and son-in-law said, we'd be glad to be here and sit with them and be with them as they receive this news. Forgive me for getting emotional about this, but they said, we have nothing. We don't have any clothes to bury our children in. We don't have a car to drive any place to the funeral or anything. We have no means of paying for anything. We don't even know a minister to call. And our daughter said, I know somebody, they'll be glad to meet with you. And so I immediately came down and began this long journey, tearful journey with them.
The reason why that tornado was so significant to me was because there was a family living there whose the mom, I recognized her. I had actually gone to school with her in middle school. I went to a middle school 1 year in Edmond before my family moved to Texas, and I recognized her as one of my another girl that had been in 6th grade. I didn't really know her because we were in different classes and stuff, but sure enough, that's who it was. And she was pregnant and had 2 little boys and I believe a little girl. And she did everything right, what they tell you to do, and what I'm sure she grew up learning as well. And that night, the tornado hit her house and took her boys with it and sucked them out. And they were found in the field the next day or two. And, her being pregnant and her boys were really close together in age, and my boys are close together in age. And I had just had a baby, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, what is happening? And this is not what we learned, in school. So that was kind of a turning point for me.
Why do I stay?
Oklahoma is my home.
I think for me, it's never even really been a question as far as leaving.
For me, I just want to stay here. It's where I'm from.
I can tell you the reason why I continue to be thankful for Oklahoma as my home is the people here, down to earth, friendly, compassionate, always unselfishly concerned and helpful. By and large, people are just really friendly and concerned for one another. How can I help? How can I make your tough road a little bit easier? And that's something that we don't take for granted here, but it's contagious. The more you're around people like that, the more you want to be that way as well.
We raised our son here in Stillwater, and I've always been aware that things could happen. So we're the risk does not outweigh the benefits to us being here. And with storms, people tend to rebuild if they can. And I'm sure if the house burned down or hit by a tornado, it will be rebuilt on that site.
It's interesting, after the Moore tornado in 2013, well, really after each one of them, but especially the Moore tornado, that was a question that came up a lot, especially to the people on the south side. But really everybody in that area that had to watch all of that, and, and the children, who lost their lives that day. I think for me, it's never even really been a question as far as leaving. It was just kind of who Oklahoma is, and I got used to it, and I don't necessarily love it, but the benefit of living in this state far outweighs the fears of that. And I love the people, and just for what the state stands for. It's this state has been through a lot of trauma, in different ways, not just tornado, but with the bombing and, other things. And I think there really is something to Oklahoma Strong that was kind of captured, I think during the bombing, and kind of held over with the tornadoes. And so for me, I wouldn't even think about leaving, especially for that reason.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily understand. Like, for me, I just want to stay here. It's where I'm from. That's fine with me. Maybe it's a little bit of pride. They're like, oh no tornado's gonna scare me away. I'm gonna live here, I'm gonna rebuild it. I'm fine with rebuilding everything. Some people consider it's their home, so they're not gonna move. They will never move. I would like to stay in Oklahoma. Again, it's my home. So I'm fine with staying here.
And it's the economics, I think, of the cost of living is relatively low here, and you think, I'm never going to get hit by a tornado or something like that, but it does happen. But people get attached to the land for sure. They say, this is where my folks grew up, and this is where I grew up,
And there's just something about this state that brings people together. It's small enough to where a lot of people know other people. And I think that when you go through crisis, it makes you more grateful and makes you more compassionate. It gives you opportunities to serve each other. And that's what we have here. I think it's a lot of the same, where this is what they know, this is their home. and they would rather rebuild here for something that they love, if they do, and most people that are going to rebuild is because they love it, than rather move away and start over. It could be an F1, that hits a few homes and just causes some damage, or it could be F5s that wipe out, half of a town. But Oklahoma knows how to do crisis, and I feel like we do it well, and we know how to come together and support each other, and that's just something that is part of who we are.
The people that live here are very rapid to assist each other, aid each other. There came a point that we finally had to say, please don't send any more money. Please don't provide any more. We have more clothes to give to them. We have more gift cards. It literally became such an outpouring nationally of support, but it began, the fountainhead of that was the people here, the citizens of Moore and Oklahoma City.
Resilience to me means getting back up again and facing something that's hard, to use the courage to do that, and your experiences to help in future situations that might be similar, like a tornado. You live and you learn kind of thing. Sometimes you can't, obviously you can't control nature and what happens, but you can control how you respond to it. So those are things that I learned early on, especially with kids, to not get all worked up, but just be calm and help them deal with that, because I knew that was going to be a lifelong skill for them as well.
You never fully recover that. You never forget that, but you would hope that not only reveals the genuine character of the people of our community, but also builds that character.
We're not going to be scared whenever that tornado comes. And if it does and it wipes us out, maybe even we lose some family members or friends. We're not scared of it. There's some people run out of Tornado Alley because they just don't want to go through it again. Good on them. Do what you have to do. We're not going to leave. This is our home. We can survive that. Again, we went through 99 and 13. Nothing isn't even close, even more. Even, Joplin, Missouri went through it as well. We can connect like that first off, but we're not going to run because the worst tornado comes through. Everywhere's got their bad things. This just so happens to be ours.
I think the immediate impact was one of sobering intensity for the parents of those that survived. Why wasn't there better warning? Why wasn't there better protection offered? As I stated, this wasn't a secret. There had been days that the meteorologists on TV had said, this is, again, one of those weather situations that we've not seen on Earth very often. If you're not below ground when these come, you're not going to survive. So you need to take every tornadic precaution that your family can. The parents of not only the students that survived there at Plaza Towers, but all over town, what's going to be done? Something has to be done. They went around to OSU football games in the following months, OU football games, getting people to sign up, trying to pass measures so that the state would put in place at every school, every public school, a tornado survivable protection. Many school systems took up that challenge themselves. Here in Moore, for instance, I can tell you that today there's not one school, not grade school, not middle school, not high school, that doesn't have a large gymnasium specifically designed to house every teacher, every student on that campus that can be moved in there immediately. And these are rated, survivable of a F6 or F7 tornado. If there had been tornadic shelters in place, perhaps other lives could have been saved as well. But today, they at least have that peace. And there are protocols now that if there is any planned or forecast, I should say, a tornado activity, they're going to let school out hours before to allow them to go home. Though they're at school, if anything would strike like that, they're more than protected.